songs are written by Taylor or Antonoff or Joel Little. We talk about Antonoff a lot on this podcast, so you know who he is probably more than you would want to. Joel Little is best known for his past career when he was a good producer. Yo! Fucked him up there.
Brunch.
Hit it, boys! Is Lana Del Rey about to have a moment?
I felt like her moment came years ago.
I feel like she's had moments before.
Yeah. Why would it be now?
That's what Uprocks is asking. It brings us to a new segment I literally made up 15 seconds ago while we were compiling our notes for the show called Questionable Headlines with Pete and Deej.
Okay.
With Dave and Peter. I came up with it, so go Peter.
Yeah. I mean, Pete and Deej is definitely like
Pete and Deej flows better.
It's not about credit.
How about Questionable Headlines with Pete and Deej? In parentheses, brought to you by Dave.
Yes. Well, I mean, it depends on how it works
With
out.
Pete.
Depends how it works out.
If you end up, you could end up knocking this out of the park, and then it's like, I'm trying to think of the relationship where it's like, oh yeah, this person does better, but they wouldn't be able to do that without so and so.
Yeah, sure.
A McCartney Lennon type relationship, or like a George Martin type relationship. Anyway, it's questionable headlines. It's headlines where the headline is just a question. And I just went to various websites, saw what questions they're asking. We're going to try to answer them.
Okay.
I only did it in 2 seconds, so I only have 3 of them. But,
Okay, that's good enough.
First one, is Lana Del Rey about to have a moment? I feel like we got through that one.
Doubt it.
She has had moments before. There was the moment where she made a music video for that song Freak Like Me, and it was just Josh Tillman's like body the entire time. And I was like, hey, liked it better the first time when Josh Tillman did that, and it was Aubrey Plaza the whole time. But then I really thought more about it, and I'm like, probably like it better the second time
when it's
because it's more Josh Tillman's body.
By the way, last night couldn't sleep, was in bed at like 2 a.m. Guess what I did?
What?
I just went on YouTube and watched a shitload of Father John Misty interviews. I wish that I didn't, because now he seems like a real person to me, and he's not
you
that.
made him real.
He's not that aura and that like freak. He seems like a normal guy.
Yeah, when he gives thought to stuff, it's a little disheartening.
Yeah.
I found an interview from apparently like right after I Love You Honey Bear came out that I think Rolling Stone did with Emma Tillman, basically being like, yo, this crazy guy wrote an album about love. Let's see who this is all about.
Yeah.
And that kind of bummed me out. It was great to hear from Emma and everything. And
I don't want to peel back the curtain.
Right, she in the interview it said in parentheses a man's voice is in the background. Hold on, Josh is here, whispering, "Yeah, you can't be here. I'm doing the interview now. Okay, come back in 10 minutes. I love you. Sorry, that was Josh." I'm like, oh, nah, too real.
Yeah, right.
After God's Favorite Customer came out, which was an album about clearly like being separated from your wife and going crazy, people were commenting on her Instagram posts. Like, she'd post because she's a photographer, she'd post like this incredible photo, like she's posting her work. Like the first comment is like, "Did you get divorced?" Which is like that's
so terrible. It's so over the line.
Just like awful.
It's just like this woman trying to exist on Instagram.
Right. It's funny I'm laughing about it. I remember like, that was one of the things, kind of like the reaction to the Andrew Luck stuff.
Yeah.
That I'm like, this isn't funny. I'm so annoyed with how humans are being right now. I did not think that was funny. In hindsight, it is funny how terrible that is. Like, hey, I spent all day doing this, blah, blah, blah. Just like, are you sad? You're divorced, aren't you? Rolling Stone asks, can we survive extreme heat? Probably not.
No.
But
I would assume like it's extreme.
Right. There was. Did you ever see that?
I don't like extreme sports.
Yeah. Did you see that show that I think it was like a game show where at one point you had to put up with either crazy heat or crazy cold, and you had to like pick which one you would do. I think it was like how long before you tap out, and you're like strapped into this thing, and they just make it so cold and so cold it's freezing, and like they're throwing ice on you and everything, or like it's super hot and they're pumping up the heat. Which one would you rather do?
For sure, extreme heat.
Definitely extreme heat.
Oh, yeah, not
I
even
would
close.
watch that and I'm like, man, that guy's sweating a lot. That sucks for that guy that's sweating. When you see somebody in extreme cold, you're like, parts of your body are going to stop working.
Right, and also it just like it feels like it takes a lot more energy to be cold than to be hot.
Yeah.
like your body has to like fight to try to keep your body warm.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
You are murdering this new segment so much that I think it's Pete and Deej.
Hell yeah.
By Pete,
Also, by the way, like
by Pete and Deej, and then in parentheses, does it really matter?
Right.
that it was Dave who does it really matter who brought it up and that it was?
please don't bring up that Dave started this.
Please, he did. DJ, the guy who came up with this segment, doesn't want the attention.
Also, if you die in extreme cold and they find your body, your penis is gonna be really small,
That's true.
a little smaller than usual.
But they'll be like, man, this must be because of the cold.
That's true.
Bam.
They're like, ooh, this poor guy will never know.
We ever talk about that SNL skit that was like, it's like, take these penis shrinking pills if your penis is too big. I took them. That's why now, because my penis was way too big before, I couldn't get anything done. I took these pills, and now I've got a pretty small penis. It's because I took these. So if your penis is way too big, take these pills. This is why my penis is small.
That's awesome.
And I gotta say, like, I typically like dick jokes, poop jokes, sex jokes, or whatever are kind of elementary to me, but guys freaking out about their situation jokes is pretty funny.
Yeah.
The Ringer asks.
Oh, great.
This ought to be good.
Yeah. Wait, do we have enough time to read what the Ringer's asking?
It's a long headline. It's about 400 words for this headline. Actually, legitimately, I went to Uprocks, and the first one was that question, but there weren't any other questionable headlines, as we'll call them. Rolling Stone only had that one, other than got a tip, but that's not a headline. That's just a section of the website.
Right.
I did Control F ? On the Ringer. Lot of headlines with questions in them.
Of course.
The Ringer asks, I chose this one. Did Woodstock 99 ultimately mean anything?
See, that's a tough question, I think.
I think that if something happened, it meant something.
Yeah, I would say that we know what happened at Woodstock 99, so ultimately it means something.
Like, people have police records now because Woodstock, like, people who otherwise wouldn't have police records now have police records because of Woodstock 99. Things that
also, it
things
served
that
as the
weren't on
inspiration
fire
for
before.
Firefest.
That's true. That's
So,
true.
It's the original.
This is we got movie stuff today because we saw an amazing movie. Not the best movie, but just a stupid, crazy movie, our kind of movie, Ready or Not. But I think this is going to be a pretty big music one. We haven't done any full-on, hey, this happened, let's talk about it music stuff. And there have been great albums that have come out recently. Father of the Bride, Vampire Weekend. I love Raw Riot's new album. I don't know if we've talked about it yet on here.
Have not, but I did get into it. It took me a while. I had for like some reason a built-in resistance to Rara Riot. I'd never really looked into them.
I think because they're the band that like I casually mentioned to you,
Yeah.
but I don't know if I've shoved them down your throat.
Yeah, you haven't you really turned up the gear to get me into them. But you sold me on this album by being like, yo, everybody will listen to this, but especially you because you'll like it. And so I was like, all right, well now I'm curious because you have a pretty good idea of what I like, and this album is great.
Yes, I thought that you would. So what song did I? It was Bitter Conversations, probably.
Yeah, that's the one you sent to me. But I think that was it Flowers or Flower?
Flowers rules.
It's very, very good. Yeah.
Flowers is a great song.
Also, the second one, I forget what it's called.
Belladonna.
No, I don't think that's. Is that the second track?
Bad Tours.
Yeah, that's
The slow
awesome.
one.
Yeah.
This is. I mean, I love all their albums, but this album is really, really great. And the song Belladonna isn't my favorite, but I'm like, I know a lot of people will love this song. So great album. If you haven't checked that out, and I'm sure that these are just albums off the top of my head. The new the Hold Steady album is surprisingly good. I didn't plan on listening to it. My friend told me there were a lot of funny Metallica references on it, so I checked it out, and it was good. So there have been a lot of good, great, fun albums. Shouts out Houndmouth. They're working on their fourth now. I was thinking we should have done something like in the studio with Houndmouth where we just like check in with them and we're like, what are you up to in the studio? And they'd be like, just recording some songs. Be like, cool. Let's talk about our next thing. We saw Ready or Not, and it was an explosive movie. So yeah, there have been a lot of good albums that have come out, but we've slowly evolved into more of a we see every movie that comes out and then talk about it for worse or worse. And I'm excited for this episode because there's a new Taylor Swift album, and I like it a lot more than I thought I would. And 1989 I thought was great. I, in hindsight, love Reputation. I like the new Taylor. I've been very okay with the new Taylor, even though I'm always quite wary of what she's doing.
So I feel like Taylor's I know we've talked so much about Taylor's pre-release stuff, but I feel like Taylor's pre-release stuff has become like a flu shot, where it's like it injects you with the flu a little bit, and you're like, I don't really feel great about this. And then the rest of it comes out, and you're like, the flu shot did enough to get me prepared for the rest of this album, and now I'm sort of immune to like this new Taylor or like the direction that she's going in, and I'm able to fully comprehend it, and the flu shot doesn't seem as bad now that I have the full scope of things.
That always happens, especially with one song on this album, but when the singles are out and you've heard them, and then the album comes out and you're listening to it 2 or 3 times, you typically, at least I don't, skip past the singles when you get to them.
Yeah,
like I'm almost happy to hear them in the context of everything. There's one song in particular of her singles that I think, now that you can sit with the album for a little bit, is way better.
Is it
still
Lover?
Not good? Still not that great, but way better than you initially thought. No, we'll get to that. Devotees of the podcast will know that I like to put Taylor Swift songs in tiers. I did it with 1989, like a year or two after 1989 came out. So I feel that that's the most representative one of like being accurate and being able to sit with the thing. I think I did Reputation like the day it came out or the day after. So like I look at it now and I'm like, there are some things I might futz around with. So I'm gonna wait.
Although I think it's be a very fun exercise to like revisit a year later.
I should. Well, you know what? Before we jump in, so this is what I have for Reputation, like right when it came out, and I go Elite, great, good enough, not very good, bad, worse than bad. Elite, I only had one song, Delicate. I'd agree with that. Great, Dancing with Our Hands Tied, Dress, Endgame. This is why we can't have nice things. In hindsight, maybe I would bump Endgame down to good. Good, Look What You Made Me Do. I Did Something Bad. Man, Look What You Made Me Do is a fucking good song.
It is.
No one
it
wants
really
to
is.
no one wants to hear it literally because they don't play that song. But like that's a good fucking song, and something that is difficult with trying to actually like rank the quality of these songs. Especially, I experienced this with this Lover album. I like my favorite songs are not the best songs, and I'm totally aware of that. Like there's a lot of the songs I have in the good range for this album, but they're all like my favorite songs of the album. Good enough for Reputation. I did King of My Heart, Getaway Car, So It Goes, New Year's Day. I'm fine with that. Not very good. Don't Blame Me. That song is. I wrote. It sounds like someone put "Take Me to Church" in the microwave. Bang on take, Dave. Bad. Ready for It. Call It What You Want. Worse than bad. I had Gorgeous. In hindsight, I would just bump that up to bad. It's not
It's
terrible.
No, so it's
Just
like
fucking
it's,
lame.
for me. Yes, for me, it's sort of like Lover and I guess like The Archer for the singles on this one. It's just like they're not good for singles, but she knows what she's doing, and they just become extremely less important once the album comes out. So like you're placing less importance on them. There's more of an opportunity to enjoy them.
That's interesting. You've mentioned Lover a couple times. The titular song. I think we're going to disagree a bit on that. So let's just jump into the album Lover. This one has 18 songs. Mm-hmm. Reputation was 15. 1989 was 13. So Taylor, in a time where some are telling her to take 10 years off, is doing more.
Couldn't be us.
When some are saying Taylor,
not even do less, do nothing.
Some people have said,
just go away.
Taylor. Some are saying that you should go away for 10. I would love to have Taylor Swift on the podcast and just pepper her with summer sayings that are just things that only us have said.
Taylor, it has been said that maybe in 2.5 Olympics you should resurface.
Taylor, it's been. We haven't said anything like too inflammatory about her. I mean, ultimately, we stand her. And
our take.
Importance.
I think that like if anything, anything negative we say about her should be taken extra seriously because we're trying to like her actively.
You know who's like Taylor Swift for me right now?
Who?
Jason Tatum.
Okay.
He's not playing well in the FIBA like exhibition games, and it's like upsetting me more than it would upset anybody else because I'm like, it's so important to me that you're a great player.
Right. Like you looking bad makes me look bad.
Right. Do you understand? Jason. What are you doing? So yeah, this has 18 songs compared to 15 on Reputation. 1989 had 13. And before we get into our tiers, I'll give an overview of how I saw the past albums. Reputation, as we just went through, 1 elite, 4 great, 2 good, 4 good enough, 1 not very good, 2 bad, 1 worse than bad. 7 of 15 songs were good or better. Mm-hmm. That's the sweet spot that I think is most important to look at.
Damn, that's a pretty for Reputation. That's like a high percentage,
right? Because I think that people like kind of gloss past Reputation.
Yeah,
they're like, yo, that wasn't very good.
I think it's very polarizing. People either like liked it or they did not.
Reputation was a big transitional album. Reputation was albums that start with R.E. by Taylor Swift are big transitional things.
Yeah.
Like Reputation, or Red was where she was transitioning from singer-songwriter to Max Martin vessel. Mm-hmm. Reputation is where, and then 1989, she was just a full-blown Max Martin album.
Yeah.
19, obviously there was like Antonoff and stuff on there, but it was mostly like Shellback and Max Martin. And then Reputation was the transition from Max Martin person to, you know what, I want to try to do like I want to sound like Bleachers and do Jack Antonoff stuff, and that was kind of the transition to now where you have Lover, and it is by and large a Jack Antonoff.
It's all Jack Antonoff, basically.
It's Jack Antonoff and Joel Little, who everyone knows.
There's another guy too. There's a third
on
one.
this album.
Yeah,
I'd have to look.
I looked it up, but there was a third one that was like less frequently than the other two, but like still on 3 or 4 songs.
Adam Feeney?
No.
Frank Dukes.
Yes,
Frank Dukes.
That's
his name. Yeah, that's his name. I saw Feeney and I was like, what is that? So Adam Feeney is Frank Dukes, and he did he do
Jack Antonoff, Joel Little, Louis Bell, and Frank Dukes.
Louis Bell was just on I forgot that you existed. Who's Louis Bell? Let's see. Okay, so this guy does stuff with like DJ Snake and stuff. But so anyway, it's primarily songs are written by Taylor or Antonoff or Joel Little. We talk about Antonoff a lot on this podcast, so you know who he is probably more than you would want to. Joel Little is best known for his past career when he was a good producer. Yo! Fucked him up there.
Yep.
No, like he did the Lord Pure Heroin album, and it was like the best thing in the world.
Right.
And then he was like, you know what I want to do next? I want to make like
bad music.
I want to be when Imagine Dragons transitions to being a joke, I want to be the guy behind that. So that's what Joel Little is. But he had some really redeeming moments, I would say, on this album, including what I think is the best song on the album. So Reputation was 7 of the 15 songs were good or better. 1989, I had 1 elite, 3 great, 4 good, 2 good enough, 1 not very good, 1 bad, 1 worse than bad. And the worse than bad was Shake It Off, but that's like a badge of honor, worse than bad. Yo, congratulations, you wrote the most, you made the most fun, awful song ever. All we want to do is dance to it.
And made it like a smash success out of it.
Love it. Right. And everybody, it was all intentional, so like it's not an insult that song's worse than bad. 8 of the 13 songs were good or better. I think that we'll all agree 1989, better album overall than Reputation. All right, Lover. Do we want to start worse than bad working the way up, or elite working their way down?
Let's do elite work our way down.
I agree. So those past 2 albums, I only had 1 song
per
elite per Delicate and Blank Space. This one, 2 elite songs.
I got 2 elite songs too listed for me.
Best song on the album, Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince. Ooh. That's the Joel Little one I'm talking about. It just sounds like there was just way more care put into that song than any of the other ones. It's excellent. The good win, hey, like that actually works, and a lot of times on Taylor Swift songs it sounds bad and forced. The other one, Soon You'll Get Better, just a fearless era jam. Dixie Chicks are on it, but she could have made that with anybody. This one is like all Taylor, vintage Taylor. Makes me wonder where what she'd be making if she was still a singer-songwriter primarily. Like this would probably be one of her worst songs, and she'd be making even better. Great song. Amazing lyrics. Everything about it. 10 out of 10.
All right. That's interesting because I have 2 in the elite category. Mm-hmm. Not the 2 that you picked. No repeats.
Okay.
You're going to hate this one. I've seen your take on it. Cruel Summer. I think that song is like an elite pop song.
All right, so we're just going to move forward through these. I'll give mine off. And
but I think that it speaks to the way that we approach music, because I just like what sounds good to me. You called it a basic song.
No, I didn't.
Or you said a generic song.
Yeah.
Said it's generic. I don't necessarily disagree with that, but it is a great generic song, and that's what I want from Taylor Swift. Like I'm totally fine accepting great generic songs that just sound good, and like whatever algorithm it is, if it works for my brain, I'm into it. Cruel Summer absolutely bumps for me. It's elite. It's like the one. If I had to pick one song to take from this album, it's going to be that one. And then the other one, other elite, is Paper Rings.
You said you're totally fine with blah blah, so like you're not going to be insulted with what I'm about to say, correct?
Yep.
I don't think that Cruel Summer is a bad song. I don't think it's in the top half of this album.
Wow.
And I think that being a generic song for what Taylor Swift's been doing the past 2 albums is not necessarily a huge insult. It's Out of the Woods. It's Getaway Car.
It's better. It's better than Out of the Woods.
It's actually kind of a shot-for-shot remake from Out of the Woods. It's got a vocal sample in the beginning. It's got it resets after the chorus with the vocal sample again. Like there's
a lot more to
MPC,
the lyrics, at least.
Synth, airy stuff. It's fine, but this is why I think you initially really liked Cruel Summer, and I think why a lot of people did. It's the second song on the album, and the first song didn't go. Seriously, like the first song was like more of a chill, tighter, not like wide open song, and this one has like the pulsating bass, the MPC, the big airy synth stuff, and you just wanted to hear that right away, and you didn't get to hear it yet, and then you hear it in like kind of fine way, and you're like, all right, I love this.
That explains why I liked it the first time, I guess, but like I've been listening to that nonstop since. And it's still just as good in the 99th play as it was on the first one.
Okay, you said the other one was Paper Rings?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, Paper Rings, very good. We'll get to that. Great, Lover, and Death by a Thousand Cuts.
Okay, I have Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince and London Boy under great.
London Boy is going to be in my next category, but London Boy is probably, I don't know how I would rank my favorite songs, but I love London Boy. That is such a fucking fun song.
Yep.
I have it in the good category just because it's really really stupid.
Oh, it's very stupid.
It's a Lonely Island song. Like from the production to the lyrics to everything, it's a Lonely Island song if they were told to keep it PG.
Yep.
But
That's fair.
it's so much fun. I love the rhyme of I love my London boy, I enjoy, and then sets up and then it's like a rhyme within a rhyme. I forget what it's called. Fucking go take an English class. I Forgot That You Existed, I have as good.
Oh, man.
Paper Rings is good. London Boy, Afterglow, It's Nice to Have a Friend, and Daylight. Paper Rings, I think Paper Rings could have been a lot better if there's a lot of, hey, I started listening to Janelle Monáe on this album, where like she's trying to be Janelle Monáe, and oftentimes she's trying to be Janelle Monáe trying to be Prince, and it becomes distracting. So there's some moments in Paper Rings that I'm like, man, if you just did this like Taylor, it would be a million times better. It would be you. That's one of my biggest issues on this album, and why I love Soon You'll Get Better so much, because I'm like, this isn't a ballad trying to sound like Sarah Bareilles like New Year's Day. This is just you being like, I'm going to do a ballad like Taylor Swift, and we hadn't heard that in a while. That's why I love that song. Paper Rings, if she just did it and it was light and flirty and fun and that was it, it would be so much better. That song is going to rule live, though. Like, get ready to sweat.
Hell yeah. I'm very, very excited. Good for me is Lover. I didn't like Lover too much when it first came out, but I think it fits much better within the context of the album, which makes a lot of sense since it's the titular song. The Archer I like a lot better. I put that under good, and it's still pretty boring, but it's a nice change of pace going through the sequence. And Cornelia Street.
Okay, Cornelia Street and this is going to be a confusing listen now because we're jumping all around, but Cornelia Street is in the bad category for me, and The Archer is in the worse than bad category for me. Those were not in a good way. Those were songs that were written in 1 minute using 1-5-6-4 chord progression. Really, like if you saw somebody go on what's like X Factor or whatever, like where you can sing your own songs.
Yeah.
If someone went on and sang that song, the
panel.
reaction the panel would be like, "You've got a great voice. You got to work on your songwriting."
Okay.
Like that sounds like everything that's ever happened. And in the case of The Archer, it's just totally devoid of dynamics, goes absolutely nowhere, which is becoming a thing with Taylor now. She's got like one song an album that just goes absolutely nowhere dynamically. Me is the other one I have in the bad category, just to round out bad because I only had two there. Good enough, I had Cruel Summer, I Think He Knows, False God, and You Need to Calm Down. I'll say quickly on You Need to Calm Down. That's the one that when you listen through on the album, it's just totally fine, and the lyrics are terrible and corny. There's a good message behind it, but like the actual lyrics are fucking horrible.
Yeah.
And like, why would you be mad when you can be glad? I'm like, man, like, where's the Taylor that did the I love my London boy, I enjoy getting high tea in the afternoon? That shit was a bar.
I do think glad is the
it's a little pun.
Yeah.
It's a little pun, but still, you're rhyming.
It still sounds so stupid.
You're rhyming mad, glad, bad,
Yeah.
sad, whatever. I Think He Knows is the biggest disappointment on the album for me because that is the biggest case. Let me see. I could have been so much better. I wrote. Oh, you know what? Actually, so the chorus could have saved it if she did the chorus differently, and the pre-chorus and verse are horrible. Like the 16th notes, the rapping harkens back to Ready for It, that discomfort that you have when you're listening to it. So, like the chorus, needs to be bigger. She's, again, trying to be Janelle Monáe, trying to be Prince, but if she just did it like Taylor Swift and just blew it out and made it like a huge, big monster sing-along, that song would be so much better. And again, like, just be yourself, Taylor. I know that you're trying new things and you're trying to do different things, but the last few albums, there's always been, she's trying to be Sarah Bareilles, she's trying to be Drake, she's trying to be Janelle Monáe, I think. There are more moments on this album where she's actually being herself, but yeah, like, you can't be Prince. Janelle Monáe can't be Prince, but Prince was like, yo, you're allowed to try. Like, Prince
right.
like gave Janelle Monáe his blessing, and Janelle Monáe used that to be like, what will I sound like if I do a lot of Prince-inspired stuff? Not necessarily trying to be Prince, and instead Taylor's like, I'm going to try to be this. So that song could have been really good. Just needed like maybe another month of work, maybe a different set of ears, different producer, somebody who could say, hey, let's not do the rappy stuff. Let's make this a real Taylor chorus. That's what I have for good. And then the only other one we haven't hit, I guess, for mine are not very good is The Man. Mm-hmm. Fine message, just not a great song, and it's a song that's been done by Beyonce better. It's been done by Lake Street Dive better. It's not close to the best version of that song.
No, I agree. I left off a good, so now good enough. I have Soon You'll Get Better, False God, Afterglow, It's Nice to Have a Friend, and Daylight. Then not very good, I put The Man, I Think He Knows, Death by a Thousand Cuts, I have Afterglow on twice. So I guess it's I'll take that out of good enough and put it on not very good.
He came up with his while I was coming up with questionable headlines.
The not very good. The Man, I Think He Knows, Death by a Thousand Cuts, Afterglow, and You Need to Calm Down. Bad, I Forgot That You Existed. Worse Than Bad, Me. Me just needs to just get cut out of this album.
Me is I don't know what I was doing not putting Me in Worse Than Bad. Me is a brutal song.
It is an embarrassment.
Opportunity.
It is an embarrassment for this album.
Yeah, and I didn't realize. I think she cuts out the spelling is fun thing.
Does
on
she
the
really?
album.
I didn't check.
I think I could be wrong, but even so, like, people don't forget
that song. People don't forget, and like that song was so bad that I skipped it before I even got to it. Like, I'm done giving that song a chance.
I think I listened to it again to see, like, is it okay once you've heard everything else?
No.
And the chorus is just so fucking bland and lame.
It is all so stupid.
And again, we're cool with stupid.
Right.
If you want to do Shake It Off, then hey, we'll shake it off to the high heavens. But it's got to be fun stupid.
Right.
London Boy is like the stupidest song ever, and it's probably, I don't know, London Boy is definitely like one of my 3 favorite songs on this album, and it's the stupidest song I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at. So at the end of the day, I got good or better. I've got 7 of the 18, which I think is a lower representation of what I would actually say about this album. Like, I think that good enough, I think sort of lends to being fine. So I think that this album has high peaks, but is definitely not her strongest front to back.
Yeah, I just counted. I got 10 of the 18 are good or better, and good enough, to your point, is like good enough means like I wouldn't kick it out of bed. Like it's not.
You're not skipping.
Right. Like, and I don't know. I might skip Cruel Summer if I know that what
not
songs
if you're with me
after Cruel Summer. I do the album. Let me look at the order of the album. I mean, like, I Forgot That You Existed. I thought it was good, by the way. Not one of your favorites?
No, I thought it was very, very stupid, and I think that it's very out of place as the lead song on the album.
So what I like about it is, and again, I think it lends to why Cruel Summer might hit as like a relief for people, is that it's got a very sparse arrangement. It's just like a very dry arrangement. There's no reverb on her vocals, so it's doing the thing where it sounds like it's in your face and like she's 1 foot away from you. And the pre-chorus builds a little bit to the point where you're like, here comes the drop. And it just goes back to what it was before, which I think is a really cool way of playing around with dynamics. But for a lead like track, that's ballsy as hell because people put on a Taylor Swift album, they want to like jump
especially after the pre-release singles sucked.
Yeah,
that like you go into that album like already kind of skeptical, and then you
take
get
me
the
to Party Town, Taylor.
Yeah,
need it.
And then you get the first one, and you're like, ugh.
See, I like it though. I do agree that it is. It's an interesting choice to lead off an album, but I would say that it goes in the good.
But I also think
category.
that could have been executed like if Lover. I mean, and maybe this is the easy choice because it's the titular song. But like if Lover led off this album, where it's like a very like sort of slow, like doesn't really like go places.
Yeah. I love that song, man.
I like it too. Like but that's what I'm saying. Like if it started off the album and like I liked it, but it didn't really like deliver on like Let's Have a Party.
Yeah.
And then you go into Cruel Summer, it would deliver like the same sort of effect with like a 1-2 punch that actually works better than I think I Forgot You Existed.
Ooh, we could do a like we're not going to do it right now, but like resequencing the Taylor album.
I actually like. Here's a secret. I like doing that.
Yeah,
like,
I did that one
something
time
that I
with,
actively do with my playlists. Like I'll take a full album and I'll sequence it the way that I wish that it was sequenced, and I'll listen to it all the way through.
Oh, see, I couldn't do that. I can't like. I need to know like what the order of the album is and like how it was meant to be heard.
It does like distort your like your
it
like
puts
the
you
experience.
in a different place. It's like a Bizarro World thing.
And some points like I listen to it so much on like my own sequencing that I forget where it actually was in the original one, which makes it difficult to talk about certain albums in the way.
Dude,
that
I'm like breaking out in hives right now.
Right?
So
it is something that is that can come back to bite you, but it's a fun activity that I like to do.
Let's definitely do that. I did that with Emotion.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why. I don't know why I did, but I must have thought that was like a horribly sequenced album or something. Which, in hindsight, like I love everything about.
It would also be like a fun practice to build and sequence our own greatest hits albums for certain artists. That'd be a cool little thing.
Yo, that's probably the best idea that's been had on this very innovative episode. Better than questionable headlines. Greatest hits albums, or I guess it's just making a playlist of one artist. But
right.
Yeah, that would be. I'd be down. I'm trying to pour through my notes. Are there any like thoughts that you have on any song that you haven't gotten out?
No, I guess not really. Like I'm still like very much in the process of digesting this album. Mm-hmm. But I will say I think that if there's one song that has an opportunity or the biggest opportunity to move upwards, I would say Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince has like a very strong possibility of hitting elite.
It's my favorite. I think it's the best song on the album. And unlike with like 1989 or Reputation, like when Reputation came out, I thought that Delicate was the best song by far, and it is. But it wasn't like a single, like. Yeah. But you're like, this is going to be a single, and this is going to be everyone's favorite song on the album. I don't necessarily know if that's the case with Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince. In fact, I'd be surprised if it's even a single at all. I could see Cruel Summer being a single before that. But I would just like overall, that's my favorite song, favorite arrangement. Great job, Joel Little. Let me see.
I think my last thoughts on Cruel Summer is that I like that song, and I think I like it a lot for Taylor, is because it's very clearly about like being the other woman and like cheating, and I think that's a cool thing for Taylor because she always paints herself as the victim, and she kind of sort of does in this song too.
Yeah.
But like I like her. I know she did it a lot with Reputation, but it was like a very forced effort to be like, hey, yeah. I'm no longer like the good girl.
Yeah.
But like in this album where it is a lot of back to like the old sort of Taylor roots, where it's like, well, I'm just like this sort of like innocent girl in love. I like that Cruel Summer for her and like for her image.
I will say a lot of Taylor's lyrics, I've realized, like these last few albums, a lot of the songs are like about her being chased. Like, and it was like dawning on me as I was listening on to the album on my way over here, and I was like, who's like chasing Taylor Swift? Like we get these photos of her being like carried around in a box. Yeah. Remember that?
Was that her?
Remember? Yeah. That was one of Father John Misty's. It was like a week before he quit social media for good, but it was like the box. Remember, it was a big moving box.
Yeah.
Or it was like I don't know, for like machinery or whatever those big boxes are. And it said it was like some place reported like sometimes Taylor Swift has to be transported like this, and it was two dudes carrying a box, and Father John Misty quote tweeted it with 100% that's Lambie in there.
I love it.
Which was like the greatest crossover of our interest, like the most like relevant to our interests tweet ever. Father John Misty saying something like rude and Lambie joke.
Yeah. So I also think that that over the past couple albums, and I sent out a tweet about this, but over the past couple albums, like Taylor Swift really wants to let it be known that she drinks now.
Oh yeah, she tried to get drunk, but it didn't work. It was one of the, I forget what song she says that on.
I don't know.
She's like, I tried to. She's like, I got drunk, like, but I didn't forget about you. I'm like, nah. Like, how old are you, Taylor? Like, you did. That is absolutely not what happens. You get drunk and then like you like
send
some
like 1,800 texts.
Right. Like you do. You meet some people and you shuffle around your priorities. And then you're like sitting by yourself, really sad, and you're like, "Now I gotta call
Guess
them."
Who I miss.
Yeah, right.
So there's like a million different over the past 2 albums. There's like a million different references to her drinking or being drunk, or like just like I'll make you a drink.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of which, the party for the album release thing. Whatever,
oh yeah, you see the video?
The apartment, her and Jack Antonoff cutting a cake.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
If there is like I would love to meet Taylor Swift, love to pick her brain, love to have her on the old cast. That looked like, not because of the people there, but just like the vibe, that looked like the worst party
time
ever.
The worst time.
They were, oh my God. Like
there was nothing fun about that.
It was like Taylor and Jack Antonoff sitting at a couch and like 4 people standing around. And I know that Taylor Swift is this big exclusive person and it's hard to get close to her and everything. That did not have the vibe of there's only 10 people here because only 10 people were invited. I feel like she fucking blew out that invite list and they were like, yo, this looks like a bad time.
Well, there was a like a music video party or like for all the people that she had. And I think it was in You Need to Calm Down.
Okay.
Like, because that was a star-studded music video.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And so she had a party for, like, all the people that were in that video. That looked like a great time. It looked like the funnest party of all time. And she was really drunk at that party. Or supposedly really drunk.
Did she forget him? Was she able to?
I think she was texting.
Tried?
I think she was texting. But she was, like, very sloppy.
Yeah. Speaking of people who are in star-studded music videos... You know who I don't know when I started following him, but I probably followed him like a month ago or something. You know who I'm following these days?
Who?
On the gram?
Who?
Is his name Ricky Thompson?
Yes, I started following him too.
I love that guy.
He's great. Hilarious.
All of his, I would hate to be his neighbor.
Oh, yeah.
He's standing
by this
in
point,
an
he's probably
apartment
got his own fucking house.
Screaming. He's standing in an apartment, looking at a camera, just being like...
PSA, if you're having a bad day and nothing is going your way, stay your ass indoors. It's okay to have a bad day. Take a breather. And really spend time with yourself. But don't mess around coming out here having an attitude with innocent people, okay? You want to mess around and talk to me with an attitude and your voice has risen. And I think the fuck not. Okay? Now I got an attitude and it's not cute. So therefore, if you're having a bad day, stay away. Chill out. Call your best bitches. But you are not going to have an attitude with innocent people. The fuck is wrong with you? Fix it. Fix it. Thank you.
I don't know. He's just like his posture and like.
I also hope that he doesn't live above anybody because he's a lot of stomping, a lot of prancing.
Sometimes he's like dipping it low and stuff. Like I never know where those videos are going. Usually,
it's so good.
I usually think like he's got someone in mind, right?
I would assume so. Also, I don't think that it's like that much of an act because I saw him post a like obviously he's got a persona and stuff and he probably plays it up, but like I saw him post a video that somebody else took,
Yeah.
and then like he didn't know that the video was being taken,
Yeah.
and boy, he was very dramatic.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Man, I
What a time that guy seems like.
I saw someone posted they were at, like a music festival with him or something. I'm like, I would absolutely love for him to be part of like my music festival crew.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love him for him to be part of
Any crew.
Any crew.
Yeah.
That guy absolutely rules. Although you wonder when you see someone who you only know as like what's Steve Dangle like socially? Because I only know him
As the screaming guy?
Just like just he's the only person on the camera and he's doing jump cuts
Yeah.
during a rant. So I don't know like what he's. I don't know like if he shuts up when he's around people. I don't know what he does.
Quieter.
Have you? I don't know.
I know him.
I don't. Couldn't be me.
Yeah.
Love him. So who knows what Ricky's like socially?
I think probably closer to what he is on camera.
I mean, right? Like that's an alpha's alpha. That guy is leading. Like he's not part of any crew. He is the crew.
Yeah, yeah.
You can follow him around if you'd like.
Yes.
But you better keep up because he's walking fast. Shouts out Ricky.
We should have him on the podcast.
There's
Great.
no way he'd come on.
No, absolutely not.
He's
He's a superstar.
He's like, how many followers? He's got to have over like
Over
a
a
million
million.
followers.
Yeah, because he's just tailored for Instagram, so like I feel like he's definitely got over 1 million followers. Instagram, I'll tell you, like it doesn't seem that hard to get 1 million followers on Instagram.
Really?
Like I see a lot of people with 1 million followers that should not have 1 million
How
followers.
many? I honestly, I could tell you roughly how many Twitter followers I have. I have no idea how many Instagram followers I have.
Ricky Thompson has 4.4 million Instagram followers.
Yo, let's get him to 4.5 because that is not enough.
But that is so many followers. 4 million people. Think about how many people on Twitter you know with 1 million followers. Not that many. It's way more of an exclusive club.
4 million followers?
Like El Prez does not have 1 million followers, and he has like the most rabid fan base
on Twitter or Instagram?
on Twitter.
Okay.
I guarantee he probably has over 1 million on Instagram.
Really? It's easier to get Instagram followers?
I think so, yeah.
Interesting. Well,
Yeah, he has 1.5 on Instagram.
1.5 million
Yes.
followers?
Yeah.
Wow, people using Instagram, huh?
I think it's inflated, man.
Really?
Yeah.
I
think there are a lot more fake Instagram accounts than fake Twitter accounts.
How many followers do you have on Instagram?
Like 6,700, somewhere around there.
Oh, great. So that's a dinky number, relatively.
Yeah.
I got no followers either. So how come all these other people have
It's
so
tough
many followers?
I feel like it's the toughest to build your following on Instagram, unless you like really know what you're doing or you have like a brand that's very tailored towards Instagram. But it's definitely like if you are good at Instagram, it's way easier to get more followers than it is on like Twitter.
I roll my eyes every time I do anything on Instagram. Like every time
Same.
I add something to an Instagram story, I'm like, oh,
Everybody's gonna hate
I'm being
me.
such a tool right now. And with Twitter, I don't get that because Twitter is literally the worst place in the world. So there's nothing that you can do to make Twitter worse because it's already Twitter.
It's true. It's also already a cesspool.
Right.
And also, it's like everything, like Twitter, it seems like everything has a lot less shelf life where like you can have just throwaway tweets.
Right.
It seems like every Instagram post is like,
Oh, that's going to be there forever because people when they meet you, they go through
Right.
all your posts.
Right.
Yeah, like I'm scrolling through my Instagram feed right now. I'm like, I guess they're all mostly fine, but yeah, you put way more thought into like this has to be good.
Right.
Instagram stories though, whatever. I took a selfie at the Revs game the other day.
oh yeah. I bet that
And-
crushed.
What's that?
I bet that crushed.
It didn't. Why? Should I?
Oh,
have?
you look like a little cutie with your haircut.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much. No, I got a few like you look goods, but fucking picture me. What do you expect?
There's a little cutie with a haircut and a Revs jersey and a beer. Like what a fucking thirst trap.
One of my friends. I don't know if she listens. I know her husband listens. So to
Hello,
you
husband.
folks, you know who you are. She was definitely concerned that I went to the Revs game by myself.
Really?
She was like, Did you find people to go to the Revs game with? Like I saw the picture, and I was like, I didn't call it out, but I was like, you definitely think that I went to the
I wouldn't put it past you.
Revs game by myself. You know what?
Would you do it?
Now I might.
Yeah.
No, I might.
Why not? I think the Revs #1 brand ambassador boy.
I was gonna say, I think that I could go by myself, and like I'd be able to like wave at a couple of people and be like, hey, like I'll tell you, this isn't to brag. Like I know Bruce Arena.
Yeah, I know.
Like I would legitimately say I qualify as like somebody who
friend of the team.
I don't know if we're friends, but like if you went to Bruce Arena and you were like, hey, you know DJ? He'd be like, yeah, I know that guy. So like that's kind of where I'm at Revs wise. Folks,
Okay.
if you're not in on the Revs right now, you're crazy.
See, I know that you're not doing it ironically. Like I know that you're actually in on this.
People have finally stopped asking that, by the way.
Right.
There are a lot of, are you doing this ironically? Folks, nobody should do anything ironically.
So I know that you're not doing it ironically, but I think that like you're so deep into it that like you could go to a Revs game by yourself and nobody would really question it because they'd be like, the Revs are his thing now.
He wants to be close to the action.
Yes.
Like what's he gonna do? Watch it at home?
Yeah, right. By the way, I mean, are we done with Taylor?
Sure.
Okay, so
For the next 10 years, hopefully.
we'll get back to the soccer talk afterwards, but I got to hit the sponsor. Support for Brunch comes from Manscaped, who is #1 in men's below-the-belt grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels.
That's what it says in the read.
That's what it says in the read. If you've ever had an incident while manscaping where things have not gone as planned or a little things have gotten a little dicey, you're not alone. It's a tough minefield. So you definitely want to get the right tools for that activity. And that's why Manscaped has redesigned the electric trimmer. Their Lawnmower 2.0
is what it's called.
It's what it's called. We didn't
that.
name it. The Lawnmower 2.0 has proprietary skin-safe technology, so this trimmer won't nick or snag your nuts. Manscaping
Says that.
It's sure you don't have to ask if I'm
if there's like maybe a questionable thing that's said during this read, it says it in the read.
We don't like to talk about our balls, but it's an important thing to maintain. So, Manscaping.
It's not the talking about the balls. It's the way. It's the phrasing.
Okay.
But go on.
Manscaping accidents are a thing of the past because you don't have to use the same trimmer on your face as you're using on your balls. I hope you would never do that because that's very gross. Manscaped also has the Crop Preserver, an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. You already put deodorant on your armpits, so why are you not putting deodorant on the smelliest part of your body? I gotta say, all due respect to this copy, if your balls are the smelliest
what is
part
happening?
of your
Right.
body, what are you doing?
What are you otherwise spraying on that area?
I don't know, but I mean, if that is an issue that you encounter, you should definitely.
It's an area that generally
definitely get the ball deodorant because, God bless,
it spends its days more protected than any part of your body.
Right, and like there is a part of your body in which like legitimate poop comes out of there.
Right.
So
we're gonna respectfully disagree with the copy.
Yeah. So I mean, but if you have smelly issues, please get the ball deodorant for everybody involved here. You can also get 20% and free shipping.
Meaning you, your pants, and potentially one other person.
Or like, I don't know what your lifestyle is, but like it could be multiple people coming in contact with that. And God, like, I'm sure it's not if it's the smelliest part of your body. Word gets out.
Right.
So get the ball deodorant, get 20% off, get free shipping. Do it all with the promo code BRUNCH at manscaped.com. You can always use the right tools for the job, and your balls will thank you. So once again, get 20% off, free shipping with the code BRUNCH at manscaped.com. Again, 20% off, free shipping, manscaped.com, promo code BRUNCH. Go do it.
And that was that read.
I knew that this was definitely going to be the most off. I don't want to say off-brand, but like the most... I wonder what this read is going to look like because they sent us a care package. It's a very nice care package.
Yeah.
It comes with the lawnmower, the crop preserver, the plow is one of the things. Don't love the names, but the products are great.
Exactly. Support the company. I'm not crazy about that phrasing.
It makes me uncomfortable with the way that they're approaching the business, but I will say the business is respectable, and I'm glad that I have the products.
Yes, that should exist, right? Like those items should exist. And honestly, the read should just be us doing this, saying like, hey, fellas, we're not going to do a whole episode about down there maintenance, but it is important that you do what's best for everybody, blah, blah, blah.
We did their copy. Here's our copy.
Right. We make fun of the dude who says I can put down 18 beers or whatever, so we're certainly not going to talk like that with a straight face and be like, hey, that's how we talk. It isn't. But support the company. It's a good time. Yeah, those Revs, man. Gustavo Bo. Watch out.
Soccer talk. You wanted to get into EPL.
I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it, and I'm in no rush. But I don't know which team to support.
Yeah, that's the big issue that a lot of fans face when they're getting into the English soccer from, as they say, in the States.
In the States, right?
Because you're not a London boy,
right?
So it's a little bit of a tougher gamble. You gotta really like hand select a team.
Yeah, and I don't think I'm going to do it based on like which team gives me the best feel or whatever. There's just like a lot of variables. Like I know that certain people like certain teams, and I'm taking that into consideration. I've got like a big board of like these friends like this team, these friends like this team. I don't know what any of the teams do. I know that John Henry owns Liverpool, and
that's not a selling point.
But it's not a liquidating point either.
Right, no.
That's not the opposite of selling. But it's not a buying point either. It's not like I'm not going to support them because of John Henry.
Right.
Who cares?
Right,
John Henry, do whatever you want.
Right.
Like, what is he? Like, people talk about like, is he like a criminal? Like he owns the Red Sox.
Right.
Whatever.
Right. Yeah. So you haven't made a decision, but where are you leaning?
Oh, I'm not even close to doing anything. I checked out a game the other day. I watched some of Liverpool and Arsenal. I'll tell you, I've been told that I've been told by soccer people, they're like, you'd be a Liverpool fan, which I did a little digging on what the hell that could possibly mean. Liverpool's the best team, right?
Right now, yeah.
So I don't know if that's
Past couple
saying them
years.
saying like, oh, like you'd like the Yankees or whatever, because I'm not like I do shit for myself. Whatever.
Yeah.
Just be selfish, everybody. Don't do something to be popular. I don't. Yeah, I have no rhyme or reason to pick any team other than these friends like this team and these.
Yeah, I mean, like Liverpool has a strong case based on like the people who support them because it's like Fights and Katie Nolan, who are the coolest people in the world. So,
but they have. You'll Never Walk Alone.
Yes.
And if that, I can't see myself being on board with that.
Okay.
Might as well be Manscaped copy.
I don't like their uniforms either. And for me,
oh yeah, you get clothes out of this.
Yeah, and for me, I just like I could never pick at the height of the sport. It's tough to get on board at like because you're only going down from there.
Oh right. Now you're gonna. Yeah, like teams that I like, I typically, I've grown affinities for them in dark times.
Yeah, same.
I became a fan of the Chargers when they had Drew Brees, who sucked so badly. Not like 2004 Drew Brees. I'm talking like 2003 Drew Brees getting benched for Doug Flutie, where they were like so
the Miami
hopeless.
Dolphins didn't even want him.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Like that's so. I like to get into teams when they're bad, if that's worth anything.
Same. Like, I like to get into teams that are bad, but, like, there's a possibility that, like, I'm going to be there for the growth. I'm going to be there for the rise. So I chose Arsenal because, like, they're typically this miserable team that... I don't want to say miserable. They always finish, like, 4th or 5th.
Okay.
Like, between 3 and 5, which is really disappointing because they're one of, like, the big clubs. So they're good enough to be competitive, but they have a perennial, like... disappointing finishes, and they never win.
I was going to say we could like round up the people that we know who like various teams and have them give their little pitches. But I don't know if that's going to make a difference.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Like,
I think it's,
like,
at the end of the day, it's
what's-
just your choice.
What's like Feidelberg or Katie going to tell me that's going to make me be like, I love Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I'm going to need to feel some connection with Liverpool other than like I like the Beatles.
Right.
Like, that's why I think that that's a reason I could like Liverpool. Arsenal, I don't like the sound of it.
Why not?
I don't know.
I mean, they've got great uniforms. They're miserable.
And do we want to be on the same? Do we want to support the same team?
I don't know. It's me and Jeff. Me and Jeff.
Oh,
have-
Jeff has Arsenal?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Me and Jeff have a shared experience, and like sometimes, like at 1 or 2 times a year, we go to the Arsenal bar in Boston. We watch at like 10 in the morning.
I went to so were we watching Arsenal when we went in Chicago to the bar to
Yes.
watch a game?
Yeah.
Okay. I have friends who are saying Tottenham.
Tottenham. I think so. If I had to pick a team for you, I think I'd pick Tottenham.
Ooh, really?
Like, if it wasn't Arsenal, because like they are like it just sounds cool.
Yeah.
And they're competitive, but they're not like amazing. They've got a great logo, and they're just like
Why don't you like Blackburn Rovers?
Well, they're not in the EPL anymore.
Oh, they get
got
relegated.
relegated.
Ooh, that's the worst thing that can happen in soccer.
Yep.
Other than no, that's the worst. Yeah, I was gonna say other than like you lose the game, but relegated you don't even get to play the games.
Yeah, you have to play.
Gotta
you
go
have to
play
with
against
the losers.
right, go losers bracket,
Yeah.
dork. What about Manchester United?
Sure, but they're basically the Yankees. So
Oh,
like
okay.
you don't
Pass.
want to jump on board with the Yankees.
Uh,
You could do Chelsea. Chelsea's a nice little competitive squad. They've got some decent unis. They got some really good players. You could do City, but don't do City because
what's
fucking
City? They're
hate
just called City.
Manchester City. There's
Oh.
United and City.
Okay, I'm looking quickly at jerseys. Bournemouth.
Bournemouth, yeah.
This looks stupid. Arsenal does have great. Arsenal's got some great unis.
They got a great crest. They got great unis.
oh, crest. I love a good crest. Revs don't have a crest. That's my biggest
That's
issue
tough,
with the Revs.
yeah.
Only MLS team without a crest.
You know who fucking has some nice MLS uniforms is New York City Football Club and also LAFC.
Yeah, really. Yeah, yes.
So-
There are some good unis in MLS. I don't hate the Revs unis. It's just the lack of crest is kind of hurting them right now. I like Burnley's home kits. Look like 70s Phillies uniforms. That's
Yep.
pretty cool. Oh, Chelsea's good. I like these.
Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace.
That's a very cool name.
Right.
But Tottenham is the Hotspurs. That's their team name, which is fucking
Everton.
so sweet. They call them the Spurs, but I like the Hotspurs.
Leicester City. This is now just the part of the podcast where
We
I
recite
just
EPL teams.
I look at a list of EPL teams, say their names, asking Pete, are they indeed an EPL team?
Yes.
Man City?
Yep.
Yes? Okay. Ooh, Man City's thirds are crazy. Manchester United. Yeah, I'm not doing Manchester United. I don't like Newcastle. Norwich City? How are they?
I don't even know anything about Norwich City. I think they're
Some of these
I think
teams-
they're new.
Yeah, some of these teams I know. Like, if I'm like, hey, you want to go watch the Sheffield United game with me? I'm going to get
No.
fucking punched in the face.
Yeah, for sure.
Southampton, Tottenham. I don't hate Tottenham. What about West Ham?
West Ham is decent, but you're gonna have a tough time finding some West Ham
comrades?
folks. Yeah,
Wolverhampton Wanderers?
I have no idea what that.
Yo,
is.
that's it? I'm at the bottom of the...
There's 20 teams.
All right, well, I definitely didn't go through 20. I don't know, maybe I did. But,
Well, so that's a check-in for Deej's decision.
oh, yeah, if anybody wants to help sway me, I don't know what anybody could say. But I think it's coming. I think I will finally be a soccer guy. I mean, I already am. Like, Revs are the most important thing in my life right now. They're going to not only are they going to make the playoffs, they're going to host in the playoffs. They've gone like half the season without a loss. They're crazy. Bruce Arena, the GOAT. We saw Ready or Not which was an explosive movie.
Were you ready or not?
I mean, I think I was, but man, like something about that movie just popped.
Yeah, it really did. It was a bit messy, but
Yeah,
but like it really kind of
it popped.
yeah, it did. It did. I think that it delivered.
How did it do in the box office?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming that movie took like $8 to make, or maybe not.
Maybe I don't know. It could have exploded in the box office.
Wow, this movie is doing really well on Rotten Tomatoes.
I can't imagine it would do poorly because anybody who's going to see that movie is like-minded with like they
but
want to
critics-
see those kind of crazy ass, stupid, silly,
But critics
black
don't.
comedies. Oh, critics don't like it.
No, I'm saying critics often like don't go in being like, well, with the
When you said Rotten
expectations.
Tomatoes, I legitimately assumed audience score.
No,
because I so
both.
prioritize.
the tomato meter is actually higher than the audience score.
Wow, what are we looking at?
88 for the tomato meter, which
Mm-hmm.
is insane, and 81 for an audience score.
Yeah, this movie was a lot of fun. It's not perfect. Like I would say, most of the characters are forgettable, and there are a lot of moments where you're like, all right, we know this is all building towards something. Just get to it. Where it's a movie where a girl gets married, and when you marry into this family, which is like a board game family, you have to play a game at midnight, and there's like 30 games you can play. Only one of the games are potentially bad. Like the games are literally like checkers, like board games, and only one of them is bad, and that game is hide and seek, and it's the family has until sunrise to kill you, or else something really bad happens to the family. And she draws hide and seek,
Guess
and
what?
they spend the whole night trying to kill her. So really the only, it's not a complaint, but like the whole time you're like, yo, I know she's going to stay alive through the night, and it's going to become like in the final hour,
Right.
what's going to happen? Kind of like The Purge, you know, where
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
like, I know these characters
You're
are
just
gonna
waiting
survive.
for dawn, basically.
Yes, get me to dawn. And boy, like without spoiling anything, like it is worth the wait. It is worth the wait. You get some crazy stuff.
So, by the way, it had a budget of $6 million, and it made back half of that in the first 2 days. So,
Hell yeah.
I'm assuming that it's gonna make money. It's a Blumhouse, isn't it? I think
No.
it's not.
No.
Ooh, okay.
I think I could be wrong. I thought I had just looked up whether or not it was Blumhouse.
But yeah, I mean, like, so for me, it was basically what I thought it was going to be, and I thought that it was rather enjoyable for a popcorn movie.
Yeah.
And
More like popcorn.
and it there wasn't a lot of like, there was less like death and gore than I expected.
Totally. It's not really a horror movie. I would say it's a dark comedy more than it is a horror movie. Like it's not scary.
Right? There are very few jump scares, if any.
Right. It's very much in like the same world as Would You Rather, which is what I was hoping for.
Yeah.
It's just like some silly ass stuff, and most importantly, like one of my big takeaways, one of the best songs I've heard in a movie this year. The song
the
that
hide and seek
plays
game?
when she draws like the hide and seek. I don't know. I meant to look up where that's from. If that was like an original composition, that song slaps.
Yeah, I thought that was like really
It's
good,
like a
and it was
little
very
gramophone.
creepy.
Yeah. Hide and seek.
Yeah, so I thought that was very that was good. I liked the cast. Like,
I don't
some
know.
of the some of the characters they overdid it a little bit. Like the scary grandmother or scary aunt.
Yes.
was a little overdone. But I liked the big guy. I thought that he was very funny.
Yep. What's he in?
I have no idea.
There was a lot of like Adrian Brody's in, or Adam Brody.
Adam
Adrian
Brody.
Adam Brody. He's from
The OC.
The OC.
I thought he was great in this movie. I'd
so
like
did
to
I.
see him make a nice little comeback. I think that he's awesome, and he's probably trying to escape the Seth Cohen shadow.
What's any of that mean? Who's Seth Cohen?
Is his character from the OC. That's what everybody knows him as.
Okay.
But yeah, like bootleg Margot Robbie in the lead role.
Yep, bootleg Margot Robbie / girl from Crawl.
Yeah, I thought that she was good. She
was great.
She had some like very funny lines that
Totally
delivered.
agree.
The guy in who played her husband, he reminds me of somebody, or I've seen him in something before. I don't know what it was. I didn't look it up.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you want to talk about like a plain James?
Oh yeah,
that guy.
He's not earning any double takes.
Right. Yeah. I'm strongly against. Oh, how'd that guy get with that girl, or how'd that girl get with that guy? But yeah, she is way more attractive than this guy is.
Oh, he plays City. He's in City on a Hill. That's what I recognize him from.
Okay. Wondering the whole Andie MacDowell situation with this movie. She's in the movie. She's like the biggest name in the movie, and she's a pretty minor role. She's got like 4 scenes, maybe. I'm like, was this her choice? Was this like? It's not like Octavia Spencer doing Ma, being like, all right, I'm gonna do this crazy weird horror movie, but like I'm gonna own it.
Right.
This is like, she's just in it a little bit, but it's not like a cameo. It's not a leading role. She's like a minor character.
Yeah, she
basically
doesn't steal the show. It's just like a very could have been anybody role.
Right. So that was kind of weird. You might also know her from Multiplicity, or
I have not seen it.
The Snowman. You've never seen it?
No,
for all that we've talked about Multiplicity.
Yeah, you explained it to me.
Okay, that's why it feels like
I almost watched it the other day, but I didn't.
Really?
Because I feel like I've seen it.
It's pretty good. Yeah, Ready or Not, though, definitely worth seeing. It's so silly and
There's
ridiculous.
the very last line in the movie is like a walk-off line, and it feels like the entire movie was just
What is it?
written around that one line.
I don't remember. All I remember is that she's ripping a butt at the end, and
Yeah.
I'm like, yes.
The police show up and they'll say, "What the hell happened here?" And she says, she rips a cigarette and she goes, "In-laws."
Oh yeah.
It felt like the entire fucking movie was written just for that one line.
Yeah, because the whole family just exploded.
Heading Taylor Swift every night inside the Oculus Rift. After Mr. and the Mrs. finish dinner and the dishes. And now the future's definition is so much higher than it was last year. It's like the images have all become real, and someone's living my life for me out in the mirror. No, can you believe how far we've come in the new age? Freedom to have what you want. In the new age we'll all be entertained. Rich or poor, channels are all the same. You're a star now, baby, so dry your tears. You're just like them, waking up from the nightmare. Na 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 na. Come on, oh oh no God to rule us, no drugs to soothe us, no myths to prove stuff, no love to confuse us. Not bad for a race of demented monkeys from a cave to a city to a woman apart. Come on, oh the historians find us, we'll be in our homes, plugged into our hubs, skin and bones, a frozen smile on every face as the stories replay. This must have been a wonderful place.